I would say, don't be in your comfort zone.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं दीपक पांडे नवभारत सुपरमैन कैंपेन में आपका स्वागत करता हूँ। आज के हमारे मेहमान की बात करें तो डीडीपी मुद्रा की सीनियर वीपी अकाउंट मैनेजमेंट मिस तुलसी कृष्णन जी हैं। आइए जानते हैं उनकी कहानी उन्हीं की जुबानी। तुलसी कृष्णन, नवभारत के सुपरमैन कैंपेन में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। आई थिंक फ्रॉम द साउथ इट्स द बेस्ट वर्ड द नमस्कार।
Yes.
वैसे आपने जैसा कि शुरुआत आपने एक एडवर्टाइजमेंट से शुरुआत की और आज एज अ PR प्रोफेशनल यू आर वर्किंग इन द मीडिया इंडस्ट्री। इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 2 decades, 2 दशक हो गए आपको इस इंडस्ट्री में काम करते हुए। तो कैसे हुई शुरुआत और कैसी रही जर्नी मुद्रा तक पहुंचने की?
Okay, namaskar to all the Navabharat viewers. Being a South Indian, I will have to mix up Hindi or English, so please bear with me. Deepak ji, I started my career, in fact, I got into this industry accidentally. I started as an executive assistant, then got into handling few clients and, handling more of a media department, and then slowly got into my journey with handling more of media. So my entire journey started with a print medium. So I'm so happy that, I started with print, got to learn more about print, understanding more about then, I started with Bata and then I moved to Triple S Advertising, wherein I was heading the entire media department, servicing few clients like your GMR Group, Saskin Technologies. And then I moved to Lintas. That is when, it was a path-breaking thing in my career where I got into handle one of the largest FMCG account, which is ITC Foods. So where we had to do a lot of analysis, lot of learnings, which has happened in Lintas. Then I moved to Mudra in 2002. That is when, I started handling one account in Mudra when I joined. Then slowly I got an opportunity to handle multiple accounts, within a span of 2 years. So slowly started handling multiple accounts and then was handling South. And then when the pandemic started, I started handling the All India account across nationally. So now I'm handling most of the clients except government accounts nationally. So that is how my career journey, which has happened from Bata to Mudra.
So इतना बड़ा लंबा समय देने के बाद मीडिया प्रोफेशन में किस तरह से आप अपने मैनेज करती हैं अपने पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल लाइफ को?
See, managing personal professional life, being a woman is very important, so there are times, because being in an advertising industry, there are a lot of expectations which happens, there are times where I educate my client, okay, if there are anything, see, if you're working on certain account, you understand their business, or you know exactly what is the business, what is the seasonality, how it works, so I proactively plan my work, and to an extent my clients also help me to do that, so I proactively go and say, okay, this is the season, festive season, and you need to plan this. So I plan my festive plans sometime in August so that my entire thing is planned well in advance, so there are times where in few clients where you need to educate the client. So we're working over the weekend, is not a bad thing, but every time if you work, it will also affect your personal life also. So sometimes, there are times where you will have to put a stop to it and you will have to tell the client, okay, I have a family. In fact, I tell in my own words, I have a daughter who depends on me and my quality time goes only to her on the weekend, so they also understand, so everybody has a family and people do understand. So that is one route which I have find myself. One is proactiveness and one is, educating them and proactively working so that the business also doesn't get affected and family also doesn't get affected. So at home also there are times where if I have to travel, I mentally prepare, I have a 9-year-old, I mentally prepare her, well in advance that I will not be available these days. You will have to, because end of the day, they also look up to you, they expect you to be there, so it's always mentally be prepared instead of telling last minute, so she now very well knows that, okay, I go for 1 or 2 day travel and I come back and she has to take care of herself, so that is very important is what I personally believe, Deepak ji.
सही कहा आपने। जैसा कि ऑफ कोर्स, लेकिन आज भी देश या शहर में बहुत सारी महिलाएं हैं जो आगे बढ़ना चाहती हैं। 2 दशक की जर्नी आपकी रही है, तो आप आपकी राय क्या होती है? जो महिलाएं आगे बढ़ना तो चाहती हैं लेकिन उन्हें बहुत सारे बैरियर्स और चुनौतियों का सामना करना पड़ता है, तो आपके हिसाब से वो कौन से बैरियर्स हैं जिन्हें वो फेस करती हैं आगे बढ़ने के लिए?
See, if you, for women, especially, there are a lot of barriers, okay? While people talk about diversity, while people talk about women empowerment, and there are a lot of things, but there are a lot of barriers which we have to face personally, which nobody will understand. It could be a family issue, it could be a, managing, if some women does really well, better than their husbands or something, that also is an issue. There is an ego issue which happens, so there are multiple things which women face, managing kid, managing family, managing work. We have to do multitasking. So irrespective of however you grow and however you are, you are big in your career, end of the day you have to get into your own kitchen and do, only then everything will have to be peacefully done. I would, and for women especially, having their own identity and having their own financial independence is very important, I personally believe. And I would definitely encourage whoever, whether it could be a small work which you can do at home, or whether getting into a career, it could be anything of your own choice. But being on own, being independent, doing something for your own passion is very important. And I would definitely tell most of the women who are there, don't just be behind, don't hesitate, you have to come out and you have to do something for your own. That's my view. In fact, a lot of people in my team, I tell them, and they also look up to me, and we always support them.
एजुकेशन महिलाओं के लिए कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है?
Education is very important for women. In fact, it is for everybody, and for women also it's very important. And I think now with the current situation, most of them are aware about it. And whether if you go to tier 2 or a tier 3 cities, the people are people know the value of education, and they definitely, irrespective of whatever the concerns or whatever the difficulties they have, and most of them think about their child and think about giving education. So if you have, see, you might have everything in your life, and if you don't have a proper education, you may not lead whatever you have also, you won't be able to save it. So I think that awareness is definitely there. And irrespective of whatever happened in the previous this thing, now people are giving more importance to education, and that will definitely continue, is what I feel.
महिलाओं की सुरक्षा को लेकर आपकी क्या राय बनती है?
See, Mahilaon ka Suraksha, of course, there are a lot of things which are happening. You should have your own self-protection, is what I would say. There are sometimes where you have to stand for yourself. In fact, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I keep educating her. There are a lot of times when I come to work, when she goes out for play, you have to teach, whether it's a man or a woman, you have to teach your own kid how to behave and how to stand for yourself. So I keep telling her, what happens, you have to protect for yourself, you have to stand for yourself, you should not cry, you should come and talk about yourself, you should be bold enough to tell whatever happened. So it's very important for every woman to stand for themselves and fight for themselves. And see, you can't expect everybody will come and protect for you. You have to do your own protection, and you have to stand for it, and you have to fight for it. That's what I believe in, and that's what I teach my kid. If you go out, you might go to work today, you might go to school, you might have some situations which you might face. Of course, you should be bold enough to come and reach out to your teacher. I tell her what are the first things which you should do, to reach out for help. And then end of the day, she should be open, willingness to come and share everything with us, and we will always be there to help and protect them.
जैसा कि मैंने आपने शुरुआत की, 2 दशक की जर्नी रही आपकी, तो ये इंस्पिरेशन कहाँ से आता है? कौन है आपकी प्रेरणा?
See, honestly, my journey just started like that, but I always remember my father, he always tells me, one thing which he told me, wherever you do or whatever work you do, if somebody is paying you 100 rupees, you should always work for 110. The 10 will always lead you to somewhere where you are. From that, that word, whatever he told me, I never forget in my life. So that always stuck in my thing, and I have grown with my career. Consistency is one thing which I've already told you in the beginning. You should have a passion for whatever you work. If the moment you don't like what you work, you will not give your 100%.
Correct.
Okay, so I always believe in that. Wherever I work, I have to give my 100%, and I should love my job. Tomorrow, if I have to go to office, I have to feel happy to come to office and work for my clients. The moment I don't like it, I will not give 100% to it. So I believe in that. Sometimes, there are a lot of ups and downs which happens, which everybody will go through in our life. After a long time, I have realized it. Self motivation is very important. You can't expect, I'm in depression, I'm very hangry, there are a lot of things which is going around in my life, and you can't expect somebody will come and help you to motivate. There are certain things which I keep diverting my mind, if I am down, and I start realizing, and then I do some kind of self motivation, so that it'll boost up your energy, and then you come back to work. So it's very important, because for women, there are a lot of things which we go through, even in our physical fitness. There are a lot of phases which we go through. You will get married, you will have a kid, there are a lot of changes which happens in our body, and you get into some kind of depression mode, which nobody will realizes unless you tell. And you can't expect everybody to come and sit and that is also getting into another irritating zone. Sometimes you will have to sit, understand yourself, and there are sometimes where you have to motivate yourself, which I would tell most of the women, don't expect others. You should start motivating ourselves, and we have to stand for ourselves.
फिर मुझे लगता है खुद की प्रेरणा पहले बनने की जरूरत है। ऑफ कोर्स इंस्पिरेशन हमें लोगों से मिलती है, लेकिन हमें अपने आप से प्रेरणा लेने की जरूरत है। इस नवभारत के सुपरमैन कैंपेन के जरिए आप नवभारत के दर्शकों को क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगी?
See, to all the Navabharat readers, I would say, see, being on a Women's Day, I would see, personally, I always feel why one day is a Women's Day. Every day is a Women's Day, because we go through a lot of things every day. We are like, every day is a super Women's Day, So I'm sure most of the women who are, across India or across world, lot of things which people are creating for women empowerment. Even if you look at offices, there are a lot of opportunities which are given for women. Sometimes I would say, don't be in your comfort zone. It is always important for us to come out of our comfort zone. That is when we will grow. If you are happy with whatever you are doing it, you will be continuing doing whatever you are doing it. Only when you come out of your comfort zone is when you will learn a lot of things and stand for yourself. So I would wish all Navabharat readers a happy Women's Day, and come and stand for yourself and create an identity for yourself.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया तुलसी जी हमारे
शुक्रिया, and you will have to bear with my Hindi, so I'm very bad at Hindi, so somehow I managed it.
No, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you so much.
कैंपेन से जुड़ने के लिए, और हम और नवभारत के परिवार हमारी ओर से ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। जिस तरह से आपने लाइफ और पर्सनल लाइफ और प्रोफेशनल लाइफ को मैनेज करती हैं, आप उसी तरह से लोगों के लिए इंस्पिरेशन बने, यही हमारी शुभकामनाएं हैं।
Thank you, Deepak ji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.